And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. First off, D&D with me. Thank you so much for the 2 new friends. Let's get this ball rolling, shall we?
Ready.
This is an ASMR episode.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we're going to do this all ASMR. So
I pushed Jed off the boat.
Jesus Christ. So, when we last left our heroes, finally finding some level of comfort on Captain Jed's ship, the party ventured downward into the hull where the guest suites would be found. There they met a rather peculiar individual, the Julian artist Quadra-Arm, the chef known as Jacques, a strange automaton with 4 arms and a really, really crappy robotic French accent. As our heroes sat down and enjoyed some of the exotic foods found within the astral plane, they got a chance to know each other a little bit more, finding out what some of their wants, needs, fears would be. With a little bit of camaraderie finished up and quite a few drinks had, the party finally went down to slumber for the evening. However, slumber only found them so much that night, as a strange scratching noise started to come from one of the cargo hold rooms. It was the brave Grimoire who decided to approach to find out what was the matter. As he and Basil opened up the door, they found a small, strange creature we've come to know as the Wufflethomp, hiding in, apparently stealing and eating some of the ideas of Captain Jed. Although the poor animal seemed to have gotten its paw stuck inside one of the idea jars. And again, the brave and astounding Grimoire helped the small creature out, seemingly making a new friend along the way, naming the creature Pork.
DM disappointment.
Super creative table I have here, guys.
It's cute.
That is cute.
Don't name shame him.
It's the name of the new puppy in my household, guys.
While finding this strange creature to Captain Jed's dismay, he also found on the back wall a strange substance that seemed to be leaking through some of the rafters making up the hull of the ship. Quickly, they all made their way up to the top deck, where looking over the side, they found some odd creatures known as the Starnacles that seemed to have found their way onto the hulls of the ship. Without much hesitation, Basil summoned forth a illusionary creature, seagull to be exact, to fly down and peck at the Starnacles. And with one less threat on their hands, the party made their way back down to the guest quarters to finish their long rest. And so, our story continues. The voyage to the Rock of Brawl is a slow and somewhat boring one at this point. Many of you have found chores and assistance to Captain Jed during your travel time. Got to know each other a little bit more along the way. But alas, very short time remains for hitting the hub of the astral seas. With only a few days left, is there anything that you would all like to do?
Is there like a gym somewhere that I can train?
While there's not necessarily a gym on the
improvise?
relatively small ship, you do have ample space atop the deck.
Monarch Fata, curl me.
She'll curl him, and then she'll have like something else in her hand. But basically, I want her like working out every day, like 1,000,000 push-ups every morning.
Okay.
Can Grimoire
Grimoire
sit
as a
on her back
beanbag.
and count?
I'll be your Yoda.
As you continue to work out with your trainer, I guess, Grimoire, for the majority of your days. Otherwise, mostly eating, occasionally chatting with some of the other party members. Is there anything anyone else would like to do?
Go ahead. You go.
Oh no. Yeah, I feel like it's no. You hang up. No, okay. So I'll have Basil kind of go to the bow of the ship, which is the front, and we'll sit on the bowsprit,
Debatable.
which is the what do you mean debatable? He'll sit on the bowsprit, which is the little pointy bit at the front, and I'm gonna start like in my book, just like writing and chronologing, like just some of the wondrous scenes of the Astral Sea, like the roiling waves of starlight, the various like astral creatures that dwell into this like kind of seemingly endless space, and yeah, basically just not it's not like a journal more, but like he's writing stories about, you know, what he's seeing and what he's experiencing.
Sure, absolutely. You do come across many strange creatures out in the void, some looking friendly, like giant sea whales that follow each other in packs, or schools, if you will, along with some of the more vicious-looking creatures, the scaverers, very similar to one-eyed sharks that seem to fester in the waters. You've seen a few ships float by off into the distance, as well as a number of large floating land masses. Some you could swear make out the silhouette of large bodies drifting along. Is there
Like
anything-
people bodies?
Bipedal, yeah.
Jed,
Huh?
is it normal for there to be floating bodies, carcassi?
I think you're thinking of Carcisserus.
Ah, yes. No, he flew too close to the sun.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, over there, starboard side, I presume.
Oh, you mean the port side?
Oh, is it over that side? Yes, the port side.
Yeah, the back.
Oh my god.
Accomplished seaman.
11 o'clock.
Well, I mean, you see it occasionally out here. You see, it's no surprise, a well-known fact, if you will, that the Astral Sea also represents the graveyard and resting places for the old gods. Occasionally, you'll see one of their husks of their former selves kind of drifting along in their own lonesome way. It's kind of depressing thinking that this is just a giant graveyard, but, you know, this is the place we call home.
You were saying these are floating bodies of dead gods?
Yeah. You don't have those where you're from?
Well, I mean, not on a Tuesday.
Fair. Very fair.
Let's start drawing and writing this down like, holy crap, freaking dead gods floating in water. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of fascination of people of your kind from your plane. There's always, you know, adventurers and explorers and archaeologists heading out here trying to see what they can find in the bodies of them. I brought a couple out myself sometimes. I try and stay away from it as much as possible now. There's, well, you ran into a good friend, Captain Marcus.
Oh, yes, the man who tried to kidnap all of us.
He's, what's the best way to put this? Poacher? Kidnapper? migrant worker collector? Not
No,
sure.
we called them slavers back where we're from.
Slavers would work. Yeah, I could see that. That works. You see, he gathers people up as much as possible, taking them out to these giant land masses where they're put to work, trying to mine for something. It's all the mind power of Captain Ajax these days. Not sure too much myself. I try and stay away from that. It's not good for my own brand.
I see. And in terms of salvaging these, did Captain Marcus or yourself ever pull anything useful from them? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine there's scavengers and other dangers that reside there, but was
Oh,
there
heck yeah.
any value to it?
I mean, there's been known to find pieces of gemstones in there from time to time. Nothing really that special about them. I mean, all their godly powers have left at this point. But, well, rumor has it. Now, mind you, this is just a rumor, so don't quote me on this. The rumor is that Captain Ajax is hired by someone, trying to find some remnants of God's blood. I know, it's crazy.
I see. And what would one do with God's blood?
I don't know, paint? Turn it into a
Curious,
cocktail? I'm really not sure. I try and stay away from all that.
Curiouser and curiouser. But, you did mention gemstones. Perhaps, I'll at this point I'll say, if I may be excused, Jedi, I want to bring up something with the other members of the group.
Ah, absolutely. Got lots to do myself, steering and whatnot.
Oh, yes, Wes, we wouldn't want to hit one of the glorious creatures out here. At this point, Basil will try to gather everyone up and tell them about, the thing he saw and how Jed suggests that it might be the floating husk of a god that may contain gemstones, and that Captain Ajax is apparently in search of God's blood. And, of course, Captain Ajax being the person that we were supposed to be sold to. And that's what he said. I think maybe it might be worth exploring if we're hoping to, maybe earn a little bit of money, whether we find the gemstones or even find this God's blood. What do you all think?
You peer over, you see Oksana doing push-ups with Greener on her back. 199? 200. Yeah, about that, actually. I thought I overheard him saying that there are people there that are, like, working against their will. Is that right?
Yes, that Marcus was, basically gathering people to work against their will, much in the same way he captured us, selling them to this Ajax person, likely to be excavating these great husks.
Right. I don't really give a shit about any of that, but we should probably go help those people. I mean, we were almost in that situation ourselves, so, maybe Jed coming here was some kind of divine intervention or something, and we now have a higher purpose.
The gods are dead. We're literally, to say there's divine intervention is a little bit
Oh,
ominous.
I meant it more metaphorically speaking.
Oh, okay,
not so
sorry.
much,
More literally, there's a dead god there, and to say divine intervention, okay. I'm with you
Yeah,
now. And
yeah. I'm pretty sure if there was an all-powerful being, they would have let me end up like this,
Grimoire, I
Don't
think
say
you
that.
are wonderful as you are.
Oh,
Yes,
no,
see,
I'm as good as I can.
Look. If you ever need to doubt that, then look at Pork. Pork adores you. You're a
Looks a little
wonderful
fucked up, too, when he
specimen
points to his little, flippers. And I'm like, God, great.
While
These are
she's doing push-ups, Oksana will be like, if there are people in need of help, we should go to save them.
The only concern that I have, and as someone who is as selfless as I am, is that we just got our asses handed to us by the very person who is going to who is essentially the second in hand in running this operation. So I'm all for gems and this god's blood. Maybe it can help us get out of here. Little concerned about dying. Don't want to do that. So maybe we need a little more reconnaissance before we... Reconnaissance. Fuck.
Oh, recognizance, I get it.
Well, if I might be so bold as to point a logical progression to this, clearly this Ajax person would be on the Rock of Brawl waiting for new supplies from Marcus, who is heading in that direction. Meaning, at the very least, he wouldn't likely be on the body right now. He'd likely be there.
It makes a lot of sense.
All right. So you're suggesting we get more information from him, or we go now?
No. Yeah, we go now while he's not there. Obviously, as you say, we got our asses handed to us by Marcus and his goons. It makes sense that if we don't want to run into Captain Ajax, we should go while he's not potentially there.
I only hesitate because we don't know what we're running into.
Oh, you
Don't
never
I
really
think
know
it's-
what we're running to anywhere.
Well, at least at Rock of Brawl, we have Jed, who there's a reason we're going there to figure out essentially how to get out of here. We could talk to other people about this, get more information on the god's blood and whatever it does. What if we find out the god's blood is like evil or something? Shouldn't we know like not to touch it, or just basic information?
This is secondary concern. First concern is to help people.
Sometimes, Oksana, I feel like you can't help a person if you die. We need to be alive to help them.
What does that have to do with God's blood?
Do you know what it does?
No,
What if you touch it and it kills you immediately?
but I don't care about it. I'm there to help people.
Yeah. V, I mean,
260
I understand.
days.
I
Mhm.
understand. Yeah, well done. I understand your concern, but if I may be so bold, what if Jed had the same mentality you do now? I mean, or if Basil had the same mentality when the knife was to you,
Excellent point.
I know that you are all edgy and that you want to be alone, but if it weren't for the group, you might not be here right now.
That is true. I have voiced my concerns. I still think it is a little
Yeah.
crazy to just go out and try and free. We don't even know how many people that we're trying to free.
But
And-
we will do recognizance.
Okay.
Yes, recognizance.
Recognizance.
What about you, Tristan? What are your thoughts?
Truly,
Truly.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
death come for all. It doesn't matter.
Oh my
Either way, I'm
goodness.
good.
Every time.
Well, I'm more meant on your status in regards to us going to the husk, less than your very fleeting, apparently, grasp on the mortal coil. But I trust that you have no.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's on the way and you want to go get a few gems, why not? I don't think we can save everybody, but that's a different story.
But if we can gather information or even gather something from these gods' blood or gems, maybe, just maybe, it'll help us aid us when we see these people again.
What people?
Marcus and his goons.
Why would we want to see them again?
Payback.
I think he wants his sword.
Sicarius.
I think he wants his sword back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Sicarius,
And
we
then,
are
of
not.
course, Ajax, because, he's buying people. That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're just going to go. Let me get this straight. Instead of Sicarius doesn't even have a weapon right now, and we're going to fly
He
off.
does. I gave him a short sword.
Like,
Sicarius, are you satisfied with your weapon right now?
it could be bigger, but it'll do.
That's like a
Not the size
claymore
that
for me.
matters.
You have to understand.
Well,
Me.
I think
I get it. What would you do if you, let's say hypothetically, let's play the hypothetical game. Let's say hypothetically, you were the leader of this group.
all right.
Hypothetically, what would
Alright.
you do with current actions right now? Go.
Well, I would probably first of all, how far away is these bodies that we're just going to ride up to and either loot or set free X amount of people? Is it completely off course, Dave? Or is it like on the way?
It's off on the starboard side, so somewhere near the front of the ship.
You can see it.
Which would mean it's
In
on the way.
terms of distance, it's hard to tell. However, based on your background as being a competent sailor, you would know that it's probably about 30 clicks away.
Too bad the player doesn't know what 30 clicks is.
I thought you did research into nautical
Yeah.
stuff to get ready for
Okay,
this game.
I did. Okay, I did. Obviously, not enough. And how many clicks away is Rock of Brawl?
Well, one is in sight, the other's not in sight.
Rock of Brawl is not in sight.
Correct.
Because you don't know where it is.
Okay, I mean, he did say at the beginning we're almost there, so okay.
What the fuck does
This
that
could be
mean?
a couple more days.
I don't know.
Well, one. I mean,
Alright.
I mean. It,
Well, we got
I mean,
something
it-
right in front of us.
Yeah, we could probably presume that at the very least, the Rock of Brawl isn't 30 kilometers away because we can see this creature, but not the Rock of Brawl.
Rock of
Yeah.
Brawl. All right. So, all right. If we want to go on a little expedition, I think we should talk to Jed first and see how he would feel about that, considering it is his ship, right? And he is the one who is taking us somewhere specific, and we are asking him to go off on a side mission to potentially free a bunch of people with no information whatsoever, which is quite dangerous. So I think we should ask Jed first. He's been
Can we-
quite nice to us so far. And we
Can we
need
take extra people on the boat? How many people can we put on the boat? Because freeing people to leave them on the drifting bodies, that's very...
All good
Useful.
questions for Jed,
All-
I think.
Yes.
Jed.
I don't. Yes, Jed.
Hey guys, what y'all talking about?
It seems this group is facing a sudden moral quandary in that suddenly we want to go and free all the slaves.
Well, that's
Right
very
now.
noble of you.
It
You know,
is.
it's something that you kind of aspire to over the course of a lifetime.
We
We
inspired
want
by
to
you.
free all the slaves, you know. Spartacus. Wherever the head is.
What would you think if we went and took your ship, or you took your ship, and steered it around the floating god body that these people are forsaken on, and we just have a little look around just to gather some information?
Oh, y'all want to do this right now?
Well, that's would be
Well-
a good time to do it.
Yeah, this wasn't like a philosophical conversation we were having. This wasn't like, oh, wish we could free all the slaves, wish I had a pony, that kind of talk. You mean you want to go there right now?
I mean,
Yes.
with your blessing, it's obviously this is your vessel, and you would be taking on more passengers that probably don't have a way to pay you. I'm not selling this very well, am I?
It is the right thing to do.
We just want to do for them what you did for us, you know?
I mean, right is kind of a subjective word, so to speak. Who's it right for? Is it right for you? Is it right for me? Is it right for
Those
them?
who do not have their freedom.
Come on now. Freedom is just the ability to yell theater in a crowded fire. It's nothing to, brag about back at home.
Never heard of that before.
At least I don't understand.
All right. I mean, if y'all want to go over there, that's fine. There's only so much that this ship can hold. I mean, we're talking like 100 people, and it's going to get pretty tight around here.
How much
100?
further? It's all right. How much further from the big giant corpse in the sky is the Rock of Brawl? Like, how long would we have to carry those passengers for further?
I don't know. I'd say it's probably about another 2 days travel.
Oh boy.
And Jed, question. Because we all come from the same city and we're used to sort of overarching powers. Let's say, theoretically, we drive your ship up. We say, hello, friends. Come on our ship. They're not shackled. There's no issues whatsoever. They just hop on our ship and the people there who are enslaving them, they're just dead suddenly, and everything's great, and we fly away. Are there other sort of places that this is happening? Like, are they going to come after us after, or is that the only place that this is happening?
Let me ask you this. I pose you a opposite question. If
No.
someone came to you in your establishment, took all your workers away, destroyed all of your potential to make money, how would you feel about that?
Right. So my question is it just one main person that we need to worry about killing so they don't come after us? Or are there many people who all want the same sort of thing? Is it more spread out, or is it just one place that we need to eradicate?
Well, now, V, I said this once, I said this twice, is you got to look at it from this perspective. Captain Ajax is running the show. He's got Marcus running around trying to find people for it. You have to assume he's got others doing the same thing. This has been an operation that's been happening for a long, long time.
So why has not people tried to stop it?
None of their business.
So people just turn a blind eye to this? It's just a way of things?
I mean, the Astral Sea it's a big place, man. There's a lot happening. It's not centralized in any way. So most people probably don't even know about it unless, you've been on the high seas before.
I have to ask, Jed, how do you feel about it personally?
I mean, it's not something I would do. I'd rather be able to yell or have everybody yell theater in a crowded fire.
I think I understand the metaphor. I mean, this has to be a group decision, I feel like.
But you also destroyed Marcus's ship. What's going to happen to you?
Who, me? I'm not worried about Marcus.
Oh, okay. I mean, you do have friends in high places.
Well, let's just put it this way.
Gary helps.
I've known Marcus and I know Ajax for quite some time. We got a bit of a history.
Oh,
Marcus, not so worried about. Push come to shove, I could push him back real hard. Ajax, on the other hand, not one I'd want to tango with on a one-on-one situation.
oh shit. Okay. Well, we didn't handle ourselves too well against Marcus, so that kind of speaks volumes.
But you have Gary.
I
Not
mean,
Gary.
it would take...
Not Gary? Gary.
No,
Oh,
you
yes,
don't want to call
yes,
not Gary.
Gary.
Not Gary, you crazy?
Not Gary
Oh.
almost ate us.
Yeah, you got to be careful of not Gary. Gary, on the other hand, I mean, we could try giving him a call. I don't know where he is right now. But we can try. It doesn't necessarily mean he'll be here post-haste, if you know what I mean.
Well, the other thing we need to consider is that if we do go and rescue people, that we may enlist themselves to be able to rise up and protect. We may not necessarily need to be the ones to, in a figurative sense, do all the heavy lifting. if we
Exactly.
simply give them the opportunity to rise and do their own thing, that may be sufficient.
Powder in numbers.
It's true. Sometimes all people need is the opportunity to escape.
I don't think you're wrong there, little man, but you got to keep in mind these aren't fair-waged slavers. We don't know what kind of situation or what kind of state these people will be in. This ain't all fairy tales and butterflies here, my friends. We could be walking into something dangerous. We could be walking into something gruesome. Now, mind you, I don't mind that kind of thing. I'm up for some fun just as much as the rest of the guys. But, you gotta know, this ain't gonna be walking into a shop, finding your favorite taco, tipping the waitress, and walking out with a smile on your face and maybe an ice cream cone.
Any of those foods are. Okay. Guys, what are y'all thinking?
I
Should
have
we-
spoken.
Yeah.
I
Someone
still
needs
take
help.
exception to the
I would
fact
like
that we
to
were
help.
almost sold into this place, so I'd like to destroy it at all costs.
A different reason for mine, but same conclusion. It seems like V.
I am all for eventually going and helping. I still have the same concerns, knowing that it's 100 people. I know we're all like, oh, well, we can give them the power to rise up. They can't get off the place that they are on without our ship. So in a way, we are making ourselves responsible for 100, maybe more people. And I am concerned we don't have enough information or abilities, no offense. Looking around, I'm equally as weak as all of you here.
Who is
And
weak?
Oksana, we were just beaten by a crew of what, equal to numbers in us? What if there are more? What if they are more stronger than the crew that we just succumbed to?
I was standing at the end, if I remember correctly.
It's true. Yeah, me and Oksana, we kind of did hold our own in that, but that's not important right now, though. I understand. Basil, you've been a little quiet through this. Tristan, what are y'all thinking?
Well,
Thank
I
you.
mean... Oh, sorry, no, after you, Tristan.
Sorry, I called to both of you all out there. I didn't mean to take it. Tristan, why don't you go first?
I'm thinking we just escaped it. Why go back? But if you go back, I will make my choice once we get there.
What does that mean? Make your choice if you'll assist us.
Yes. We, as you said, we have no information. Why would I make a decision now without knowing what's happening?
What if we do
That would
this?
be reckless and stupid.
What if we do this? What if we just go and look? We just take the ship and we just sort of fly around and see what is happening if we can. I don't know if that works or not. And see what the situation is. Maybe as we approach, we find something that will be a problem. Maybe no one is there, and then it might be an easy thing, even though people will be chasing us across the Astral Sea or whatever this place is called afterwards.
Recognizance.
I agree. I think more information is definitely important, and I hate to be the person who, well, I mean, acts somewhat more selfishly, but my thoughts were on getting more resources to be able to survive for ourselves more than the survival of other people. Knowing that these creatures had gemstones and other resources that were very valuable here was simply a means to step ourselves up rather than to save 100 people. One thing I learned in the city was that you cannot save everyone. But sometimes, you know, you can still help people save themselves without necessarily putting yourself in the line of fire. As you say, you dying is helps no one.
So then it's agreed at least that we go near it, check it out, and then see what the situation is first.
I suppose.
Yes.
Because there's no point
it's
in, like
probably
Via saying,
best.
for a suicide run.
I very much agree.
So, and if we can do both, save people and get resources, then it's 2 birds with 1 stone. It's great.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we don't come back eventually.
I understand. Jed, are you up for a drive-by?
Yeah, I don't mind whatsoever. Now the question becomes, you all have to decide on this. Do we go in the front door or we go in the back door?
What is sneakier?
Well, I mean, going in the back is always the best way to do it. If you don't want to be seen, that is.
Boy, if you were a DM, I would totally put trust and believe that.
I'm a DM, I'm a captain.
Just kidding.
I
Oh,
think
Back door it
All
is.
right. Well,
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Agreed.
All right.
Come on, pork. Just gonna go over to the railing and kind of look over.
I'm really glad partway through we didn't go. We should really go on that. Damn, what was the idea we had just then? We were gonna do what when we went to the. And then Pork's just sitting there chewing on it.
Oh God.
Damn. Oh, well, I guess we're charging in because.
Let me just write this down. Make mechanic for pork to steal their ideas. Fantastic.
Dang it.
All right. You know what they say? Back door it is then.
Who
Who
says?
says this?
Who's talking about backdoor?
Well, no one you really want to meet.
Some low-hanging fruit, man.
Who is saying it frequently enough to become a saying?
Back door it is. As he heads back over to the steering wheel of the ship. What are those things called?
The helm?
Right. That one.
You're welcome. It's the only reason I'm here.
To tell me nautical terms? Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a relief for me as I'm pulling up my shit right now.
Well, look, I've been in so many ship games. I had to commit these things to memory, so I know nothing actionable. Like I couldn't be out in the boat, but you know, like, hey, we're playing D&D. I'm your guy.
Just as fun to make up names for things. Those aren't sails; they're go-curtains.
Oh, it is. It is. You know what? You know what really tickled me was when Dave couldn't find the word for pod for a pod of whales. It was like a pack of whales.
Pack
Yeah.
of whales.
Pod of whales, mate.
Well, I mean, tomato, potato. Anyway.
Just your pronunciation and so.
Yeah, exactly. It's my thick
Yeah.
Canadian accent. That's what you heard.
Thick Canadian accent.
Exactly. As the ship now begins to veer off to the right, it continues to make its way towards this landmass. As it does, Sicarius, standing close to the front of the ship, as the idea of rushing in fills your heart with blood, you're suddenly brought back to a very vivid memory. You remember hearing the sounds of a woman screaming, of glass shattering, of your blood laid out in front of you as the rain trickled down. Fear now embracing you in its entirety. You remember that feeling of hopelessness. You remember that feeling of weakness. And you just can't seem to shake it, as if the fates have decided against you.
Oh.
Until the next change of fate is redeemed, your strength modifier is 0.
Shock.
Oh,
Oh,
Those never do good for me.
oh my goodness.
The modifier is 0.
strength modifier to 0. Okay.
Sailing
Hey,
inward.
Great.
Thanks,
Do you want to
chat.
get in an arm wrestle? It's the only time I might win.
Still higher than mine. So
Gee, thanks. I feel better now.
Flying inward towards the landmass, the body of the god now coming more and more into view. You can see typical appendages that you would on a bipedal humanoid. Arms, legs. However, you see 2 giant heads, in fact. And strange, what look like appendages that reach out from behind it, 6 to be exact, spread out, almost looking like rays of light, as if they were wings at one point in time. You begin to drop down underneath the landmass, as a silence falls over all of you, just as the shadow of the large, now dead god casts itself over top of the ship. You move further down the back as you stare up towards it, coming down to the mid-nape, only to see 2 large, round, almost hill-like structures. Not man-made, part of the landmass per se, with what seems like a giant cavern directly down the center of it. Jed slowly brings the ship up towards the large cavern before it begins to stop. Well, y'all said back door.
Oh my God, Dave.
I knew he was describing something weird. I was the only one who laughed.
I thought, and then I was like, no, put that out of your mind. That's
Away
inappropriate.
it was a butthole. I knew right away it was a butthole.
Uh,
I don't know what that says about me.
oh my God.
episode 6.
Enter the
Long it
butthole.
For the adventurers.
Into the eye of danger.
Oh.
Oh my God. No pun intended.
Okay,
Okay.
Jen, thank you.
Well, the reconnaissance is off to a shitty start.
Oh.
I don't get it.
I'm full of these.
Can we see anything? Can we see
Oh,
anyone?
don't make him describe that.
I have no, anyone. Do we see anything that we came here to look for?
Giant starfish.
Well, very close.
Jesus.
As you continue to kind of float upward into the crevice itself, you do find a massive gaping hole directly in the center of it.
A good band.
As Jed struggles with the ship as a very strong wind seems to have a downward downdraft towards you. A strange noise is heard as it comes out.
It's Fartgate round 2, guys.
This is what I imagine a fart would probably smell like.
Oh God.
Well, we doing this thing?
Sorry, we're supposed to go in that jet.
It's a little more daunting looking at it now, I know. But
Well, as we approached, puns aside, were there any structures built on the top of the body? Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the implication is that inside is where a lot of the resource gathering and harvesting is. But like say that this creature's lying face down. Like on the back of it, is there like a dock? Is there like a building? Is there like a refinery of some kind? Yeah, tramp stamp.
I would say let's make a retroactive perception check.
everybody?
If everybody's looking, sure.
Yep.
I assume we're all looking at the giant god.
It's 11 for me.
That is an 8.
14.
Okay.
My dice is rolling in slow motion. I'm just waiting for it to land.
Oksana's too fixated on that hole.
It's
It's
glorious.
3.
3.
Definitely too fixated on that hole. So the highest was what, a 14?
Yeah, 14 was the highest. As you came in, you did happen to see a few structures closer up to the fronts where you would assume the mouth would be of the creature. However, there wasn't any movement per se. And that's what you would have seen with a 14.
So, is everybody ready to take this leap? Like, so I'm choosing my words so carefully so they won't turn into anything.
I know. Jed, have you been here before?
In there? No. Are you crazy?
Well, I was just hoping somebody knew what was on the other side.
I mean, I never thought of myself as one to be crawling into the cloaca of a god, but, you know, it is what it is.
Ow! We don't have birds in this campaign.
He said it had wings. The thing has wings.
Oh, right.
Birds
Okay.
Birds also aren't the only things that. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah. Okay.
Birds, fish, gods.
All right.
Are we going
I'm
in?
gonna go. So
Yes,
yes.
I
Alright.
say we go.
please
Yes.
somebody follow me because
All right,
I'm scared of this cavern.
I will follow Greenmore. So Basil places one hand on Greenmore's shoulder as we make our way through and says, "Don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this."
Oh. Oh my God.
Totally aloof to what he's talking about. Whatever the joke was.
As you begin to take off from the ship deck, finding flight once more upwards towards the large hole, you hear Jed call out, "Just be careful, don't light a torch until you get inside."
I don't know why, but all right.
I can't even imagine the synopsis of this episode trying to get around this.
Really,
wanna see
because I
fan
have
art of us
too
actually
much
going.
of a visual in my brain right now, personally.
That's okay. I had another one for if Jed came with us because I'd ask him to keep his captain's log.
Pork, you should probably wait on the ship with Jed. Jed, can you watch Pork for me? I don't want Pork to be
So the
associated.
ship can't go in. We have to go in by ourselves.
I don't want to ask. How much of a gaping?
How much of a gape? How much of a gaping hole it is? Well, let's find out how much he liked to party. High or low for your
Oh my
benefit, Rob?
I would go high.
It's a little too tight for a whole ship to get in. I mean, there's only so many seamen you can get into this
Stop! Stop! We have to get off this.
Let's go.
Goodbye, monetization.
How am I even gonna rate this on
I'll be
YouTube now?
the first. I'll be the first to lead the way. You all form like a train behind me. All right,
And
let's
we'll just
go.
start swimming in.
Oh my God.
I'm the one saying to stop. I had to throw that one out there.
thing. Oh.
Making our way.
Okay, in tandem, you begin to make your way up to the large hole above you. As you continue upward towards the strange opening, there's a moment where, looking towards each other, you can see the string altogether, almost a perfect chain, floating in the astral sea. That's the one that did it for you.
No, I'm trying to keep it in. I'm just gonna mute myself.
You finally find yourselves close enough to the landmass itself where you can start to find some footing. Continuing upward, you find it very, very dark. In a
I'm sorry. It's reminding me of like a Magic School Bus episode.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Where are we going now?
I'm glad we're associating this with a brilliant childhood memory.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's ruined now.
You finally make your way up into the cavernous, almost cave-like structure of the dead god as your feet find footing on the ground. You can see now that the entire body has become more or less a stone structure itself. No fleshy bits to be found. If you wouldn't have known better, you would think this was just a cave itself. For those of you who have dark vision, looking around, you don't see anything per se, anything unusual. Well, as unusual of a god's backside it could be. But no trace of mining equipment or any miners at all. Bobby, no. That one's too far.
No.
Oh my god. Where shall we go next?
I can't see anything. Since everyone. Well, all right. I was going to say we could go stealth, but I guess we're just going to light our way. I see.
I have this hood. I have a hooded lantern that might be a little more covert, as it were.
Well, what if he puts the light in the lantern so it's not a flame, it's just a little spell?
That's really smart. Can you do that? Hold it up to Sicarius.
I can cast it onto an object, yeah, absolutely.
This way I can flap it over. All right. Can you see now, V?
Wow. Thank you, Sicarius and Grimoire. This is amazing.
Now you can see that there's nothing here.
Yes.
All right. Should we go?
As the light bursts out, it begins to dance around within the lantern itself. However, strangely enough, something in the air must be changing the tint of the flame itself. As you see the light now dancing on the cavern walls around you, it's almost like hundreds of blue angels leading your way.
It's really pretty, but
I'm scared to ask.
Google a blue angel later.
Fuck. Dave.
don't do that.
Also, welcome in, Raiders.
People at home don't Google that either.
Normally,
I'm curious.
Normally I do a recap for chat, like whenever we get raid, I do like a little recap like of where we are, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
today.
go ahead. If you want to go ahead and
just
explain
enjoy-
to the newest
just enjoy
viewers
every
what
done
exactly we're doing.
All right, you're caught up.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
All right.
God.
Looking
You
Looking
to
seem
the
a little
gems.
uptight tonight, Dag. Jeez.
I'm shy. I'm you know, I have to work with kids, and I will never hear the end of this.
Should we go further in?
Yes, let's get deeper.
I don't like the way you said that, but all right.
All right. Well, yes, I'm not sure.
Try to
I'm not
stay
sure Jed
quiet.
really gave us. I'm not sure Jed really gave us much in the way of information about like where we can find gemstones, but one would presume that if the anatomy of a god is anything similar to that of a person, I would say that crystallization actually does commonly happen in like kind of kidneys areas, you know, gallbladder, that type of area. So just a little bit in of where we are might provide similar crystallized rocks. That's
It's
just-
a really amazing kind of gross. but also very amazing that you could think of that. And I'm assuming you're saying this because the miners will be where the crystals are, not because the crystals are there, right?
Sure, let's go with that. Yes. Of course. We're here. The miners.
I'm
Not
gonna not roll
always.
an insight check because they always fuck me in the ass. So Go,
Let's make this quick.
is this? I mean, is this a
Quick and
medicine
painless.
check? I don't know. Go towards the gallbladder.
This is
please.
making me
You continue venturing forwards, trying to stay as close to one another as possible, unsure what you could possibly find in what would be considered, I guess, the bowels of a dead god.
Pause for applause.
As you continue on forwards, making your way, twisting along these strange roads, almost like pathways, you begin to start seeing some semblance of things that shouldn't be here, things foreign to this body.
No.
Hmm?
You begin to see what look like miners' shafts.
Sorry, did you say
Some
minor
equipment.
chefs?
Shafts.
Oh, shafts. I thought
Shut
there were
up,
these
Jess.
miners with pickaxes with like a big tote, an apron, and just like, yeah, bonjour, welcome. I am the foreign body you have found inside here. Sorry.
You now begin to see equipment as well, seemingly very old, filled with dust over top of it. The cavern that you continue to make your way down, suddenly a strange smell begins to emanate. Finally turning a long corner, your hearts and minds are stricken with sadness as it opens up into a very large cavernous area with nothing but bodies laid out everywhere. Some of them in horrific states, almost crucified to the walls of this cavern. This was not the work of a simple execution. This was a torturous massacre. As you look around, you see tens, 20s, 50s. You lose count of the amount of the torn and shredded bodies all around you.
Grimoire drops the lantern and runs behind Oksana's leg.
We will find who did this. Yes?
Shaking.
I agree. V will pick up the lantern. And
That's how V stole my lantern. Just kidding.
This is horrible tragedy. We cannot stand by.
what do you want to do, Oksana? It seems like no one is here.
We will keep going.
We cannot leave them like this.
Oh.
And Tristan will move up and start to move the bodies and put them laying down, one after the other.
Oksana will help.
Yeah, I will go see if I can find some shovels to, maybe bury them. I'm not sure.
Aren't there like 50 to 100 bodies here?
They deserve respect.
All right, maybe someone should keep watch then, because it will take us a while unless someone
Yes.
has something to speed that process up, but I don't.
We will take the time we need.
All right, I suppose I will keep watch then.
And someone should probably also tell Jed that we're okay and we'll be a little while.
I want to be as far away from here as possible. I'll do that. And
You will not go alone.
Grimoire starts walking off at a quickened pace.
Little
I'm
man,
sure he'll be fine.
No response.
he
Okay.
will not go alone. I'll go back with him. I'm not gonna leave him by himself.
Zacharias will stay with Tristan and help him out.
Okay.
I'll sort
I
of
come with
position. Sorry, I'll position myself like. Is there another entrance to this cave?
You do see one entrance. Actually, make a medicine check for me, V.
We have a temptation dice.
I'm gonna use it. Okay. That's much better. It's a 14.
14?
Yeah.
Based on where you're kind of situated, how long you've been walking for, where your entrance point was in the beginning, you would assume, based on the entrance and the exits, that this is most likely the stomach of the dead god.
All right, we will share that with the group. I believe this is most likely the stomach, by the looks of it. And she'll just position herself sort of at the front of the entrance off to the side to try and keep a lookout and a listen out while the rest are doing their thing.
Okay. It takes some time for the three of you, Zacharias, Tristan, and Basil, to not only collect the bodies and put them together, many of them strung up on the walls, parts of them with large mining spikes through different pinpoints of their bodies. Over the course of the next hour, you're able to situate them all in what would be a mass grave. You take a moment to reflect on what possibly could have happened here, and the poor souls that were lost in this place. Also, you have a temptation dice redemption.
Tristan will now conjure 2 silver. So his light would go blue, and 2 blue silvers will appear, and we'll put 2 silver on each of the body, on their eyes.
Okay.
Anyone gonna ask him what he's doing? God.
Grimoire's facing away from everything.
I know, so am I. That's why I'm
Sitting
saying.
down, facing away.
I thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Seen it.
Grimoire and
I've seen it
Oksana left.
Yeah,
Didn't you
I
go
thought we
back to see
left.
Jed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I
there's
missed-
still Basil.
I thought there
and
was a time
Zacharias.
transition that you were saying there where
Like,
we went and came back, but
Oh,
if we're
okay.
there, then we're there.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Would an hour have been enough for us to go?
You
talk to
guys are
Jed?
not in the area with them right now.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I presume it's some sort of burial ritual. I mean, Tristan has done this with most of the people that have died.
Are you talking to me? Did you come over to me? That's so nice.
I'll go. Oh, sorry, no, I just didn't drop my accent for some reason. Basil says this to himself. He's I'm gonna bring. It's like yes. You know, he's talking to them. No. Yeah, actually, you know what? I will go over because I mean, look, I'm not strong. I will bring the tools and help take the bodies down, but definitely digging through the solid god, as it were. Will probably be a moment where I'm catching my breath, having a drink, and talking to V. Yes, no, it looks as though Tristan holds a great deal in regard to the dead. I mean, I'm not sure what his practices are specifically, but it looks like this is perhaps just how he pays his offerings and respects to those who have passed through the veil and into the hereafter.
Don't you want to know exactly, though? Basil, stay here. Stand guard.
Yeah, right.
We will,
I'm gonna keep drinking.
we will march right over to Tristan. Tristan,
Is Tristan still putting coins on eyes, or what? Is it over?
I don't know.
You're
Are you?
continuing to put the coins on the eyes. So far,
Okay.
from your count, you've laid to rest roughly about 60 souls.
All right. So no reply from Tristan at the moment.
Tristan. I
He's
just
a bit busy right now. Let him do his thing.
Fine. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, Tristan, I don't know if you can hear me, but we'll talk later. And V will get back up and go join Basil.
Okay.
Basil's just so distracted. He's drawing pictures of like the mass grave, as it were.
Sure.
Should we wait for
Sicarius
Oksana?
is basically just standing by Tristan, assisting in any way if he can. If not, he's just there for support.
Okay. As you all continue to work on the mass grave, Sicarius, you notice something strange about Tristan. For as he puts the last 2 coins atop Body's eyes, he stands up straight, taller than he typically does, not saying a word. You then take note of his face. Unmoving, unflinching, and not blinking, the now blazing purple eyes of Tristan.
Saying anything? Or is it just
You take a moment to walk in front of him to look, waving a hand in front of his eyes. Absolutely no response. But Tristan seems to be in some type of trance.
I will reach out and touch his shoulder. Are you okay there, my friend? And see what he does.
He does not flinch. He does not move. It's almost as if Tristan is no longer there.
Fantastic.
It would be a shitty time to get attacked.
As Greemer and Oksana continue to make their way back to Jed's ship. Now, remind me, did you guys take the lantern or did you leave it?
He has the lantern.
He has the lantern. The two of you continue onwards, and I believe, Greemore, you have dark vision.
Yep.
Okay. You continue
60
to
feet.
lead Oksana forward. It's very difficult to see. It's in a grayscale where the shadows don't flicker. Being in this intense darkness, Oksana, you can feel him beginning to shake more and more. As Greemer, you're reminded of the darkness of the past, the feeling of being trapped. Coming closer to the hole leading down to Jed's ship, out of the silence, you hear something ring out. Who goes there?
Remo will stop.
You begin to look around.
Do we both hear that?
You both hear this.
Okay. I'll pull out an axe, both of them.
Okay.
Greenmore's just terrified. So
Who speaks?
I asked first. Who goes there?
My name is Oksana. I mean no harm to this place.
As you say this, Grimoire, you see a small figure begin to step out of the shadows.
That is good to hear, Oksana. For I wouldn't want you to become like one of the others.
Who do you speak of?
Those that lay here as their final resting place.
Did you do this to them?
I am but a watcher, taking notes of all that happened within my ensigned god.
You know who did this to them.
Yes.
Will you tell me?
Their names I am unsure of. But they forced those souls to work here, tearing apart the gods. And when they did not find what they were looking for, made a game of their bodies. Cutting, tearing, until there was none left.
Grimoire covers his ears and goes into the fetal position.
Oksana will put one of her axes away and hold him really close. Please, tell me all you know of those who did these things. I will find them. I will make them pay.
I will tell you what I know. Right after a short rest.
Well done. Way to stay in character.
With that said, guys, we're going to take a quick bio break. So stick around. We're doing a short rest. It's not going to be very long, probably 5 minutes or so. Lots and lots happening. Who is this mysterious figure, and what exactly is happening to our friend Tristan? All of this and more as soon as we return. So go ahead, go get your orange juices, your apple juices, your god juices. I was going to say another one, but I think we've gone far enough down that path.
Yeah, enough of that.
As always, we do take some questions on break. If you have any about myself, the cast, the story, life, the universe, or anything within it, we'll try our best to answer them. But with that said, guys, love all your faces. We will be back in a short few, so stick around because you're not going to want to miss this. Trust me. See you soon, guys.
Bye.
And we are back,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome back, all.
Uh-oh, he's frozen.
Oh, we broke Swiss Dave.
Oh, there he
no, there he is. Okay.
We did get a couple of questions in chat, so we're going to go rifle through those pretty quickly. How long has this guy lived within the colon of the god? Well, we're about to find out, Buck. Don't you worry about that. Question for Dag. How's Basil feel about everyone's mastery of nautical terms?
Basil's fine. Basil has very little in the way of grasp of nautical terms and the like. Dag, however, Dag is it's like I need to bring Dave onto one of my seafaring campaigns for a term.
That'll go well.
Yeah. I've actually got one. I've got one planned for like a group of goblins who steal like the best pirate in the land ship, and then just like abscond with it on a joyride.
Okay,
Nice.
I'd be up for that.
Nice.
All right, moving on. Question for Bobby: would your character be possibly based upon a lovable animated bat that was Rasputin's sidekick in a certain animated film that shall go nameless?
It doesn't have to go nameless. Yeah, some characters that inspired me for Grimoire include, yes, Bartok from Anastasia, Batty from Fern Gully, and other characters in similar animated films. So,
Well, you nailed it.
well placed, well noted. Yes.
I mean, that's the bit. That's the compliment, right? If people are like, "Hey,
Yeah, if people
this
get
is
it, then I did a
exactly
good
what this
job.
is," then you're doing a fantastic job. Flattery is the best form of plagiarism, or
Of
something.
flattery.
Question for Dave: when you said "don't want to miss this," did you really mean more butt jokes? Follow up: how many do you have left in the tank? Well, let's just say I can pull as many as I need to out of my ass. Okay.
That one was a solid.
Question for Swiss/Tristan. What the hell, man?
Tristan doesn't send anybody to hell or anywhere. That's not his job.
Oh my god.
Question for Oksana. You sure you can carry through on your noble promise to bring the perpetrators to justice with ahem hit points?
Nope.
Okay. All right, and that's all we have in terms of questions, but welcome into all the newest trippers. Sorry, we don't really say anything during the actual game, but we'd love you all the same. We'll give you a huge heart just from us to you. Also, Buck Goose, thank you so much for the bits as well as GF Powers. Also, before I forget, Oksana, you are feeling very inspired right now, where Basil, you are feeling disinspired. Next rolls that you make based on skill checks, Oksana, you have advantage. Basil, you do have disadvantage.
Yeah, I got the dark heart.
You did get a dark heart. Your first
It
one.
wasn't me.
Oh, your first
Oh.
one. It's adorable.
It's because of all of the puns. That just means I'm going to keep doubling down.
Let's see who can get the most dark hearts by the end of the campaign, shall we?
I would love if we did a statistic of all the things. Like, each
like a
person got
number
this many
that
dark
went like
hearts, this
right
many
about here.
inspirations.
Maybe a collective number right here.
Be cool.
Could be cool. Might have to work on that. See what I can pull out there.
Mm-hmm.
Back to our story. As you listen onward, Oksana and Grimoire, the small creature begins to make its way forward. From what you can see, Grimoire, his facial features are now becoming more and more apparent to you. He has very long, thin, pointed ears, a bit of a reddish hue to his skin, many wrinkles. The best comparison out of game would be this would look very much like a gremlin. From the movie Gremlins. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Love that film.
He reaches down into a bag and produces what looks like a large blue crystal. Speaking an incantation over top of it that I don't think either of you would know what language this is.
Try me.
Do either of you know Infernal?
I just so happen to know.
Hold on, I picked a weird language. No, I went with Celestial.
Okay.
Sucker.
Speaking the incantation over top of the crystal, it lights up the cavern proper. Oksana, now you can see as well the creature standing in front of you. Not very tall in any way, shape, or form. Maybe just a few inches taller than Grimoire. Kind of hobbles towards you a little bit with the light in hand.
I am known as Capri. Tell me, travelers, what do you go by?
As I said, my name is Oksana. And I'll kind of like unfurl him a little bit or like try to.
He resists a little bit, but he just Grimoire. He tucks back in.
Do not be afraid, little man. I do not think he means us any harm.
Your friend is
perk up a little.
correct.
He walks a little bit closer.
You have nothing to fear from me.
Insight check.
Go ahead, make an
I
insight
know, I'm
check.
going to roll so low. I'm going to roll so low. Now one. Fucking called it.
Oh my
For
god.
a total of 3.
Okay. You find it very difficult to get a read on this creature. He stands motionless in terms of his features. A very stoic look on his face that doesn't seem to change, even while he speaks.
I am the watcher of this place. It is my life duty to record and remember what transpires. You have questions about those who came before you.
Yes.
You may ask at will.
I want to know where I can find them.
Not here any longer. Leaving this place some time ago. While I
You know
cannot
where
tell
they have
you,
gone?
while I cannot tell you where they went, I might give some clue as to who they were.
Please.
Those with whips and chains and blades, all carried on themselves in some way, shape, or form, a sigil, a flag that they wore. That of a hook, the drop of blood coming from its tip.
Does the name Ajax sound familiar to you?
Ah, a familiar name it is. Many
Is
called that name, but only once did I know the man, or see the man who responded.
Do you think he is the one responsible?
Without question.
I thank you for this.
Happy to oblige.
What did he look like?
He wore a putrid green skin. A tall, thin man. He too wore the sigil and crest on his chest. His ears pointed, nose seemingly cut.
Just coming from like, he's pretty much a fluff ball at this point because he still hasn't like pulled out of
Oh yeah, like a
being
scared
all
cat
curled
with
up.
his,
Yeah. So it's just
completely
a
poofed
voice
out.
emanating from the floof. Why does he want the god's blood?
Well, never been confirmed before. There is legend of the powers that can be found within the blood of a god. Some say that it would give someone the power of a god itself, transferring their powers to them. Oh, the more far-fetched, if you ask me. With other components, bring the god back to life. And while I assume you might not know much about the gods that rest in this place, for those to the mortal plane, they were nothing more than carnage, death, and destruction.
This is my question of whether or not that would be a good thing.
For some, yes. For those that breathe and are destined to die, there could be no worse curse.
This is dark magic.
Not magic. This is divine in its purest sense.
It is power that should not be sought.
For that, I do not disagree, Oksana.
But he didn't find it here, right?
What they do not know is this is not a place to find the god blood. Their husks remain lifeless, including the essence that flows within.
What is husk?
The remnants of things dead and left to rot.
Sorry, I'm sneezing up a storm over here. I'll wipe your arm later, Oksana.
That is okay, little one.
Perhaps an allergy to gods.
It is that a real thing?
Perhaps.
Would you prefer that we left this place? I don't want to disturb you.
You do not disturb me in any way. In fact, you honor me, each of you. For your names will be written on the bones of the gods.
This is gracious.
I don't know what that means, but thank you.
Is it problem that I don't know how to spell my name?
It's a really hard name to spell, Oksana, to be fair.
I have not had enough practice.
It's got a little, apostrophe above one of the A's, and it's,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
It's really difficult.
I can never remember
I'm
where
so
it goes.
sorry, we're wasting your time. Is there anything else you think we should know before we leave this place?
If you wish to find the ones that did this, I offer you one suggestion. Don't.
Why not?
Unless you wish to be strung up like the rest.
Don't you
Grimoire
think?
twitches and goes back into full full
Don't
closed.
you think he should pay for what he has done here?
That is
He has
not,
dishonored your god.
it is not my concern. But what I tell you, when I say the screams lasted days, I beg your caution in the matter.
I promise. I will use caution.
Thank you so much. We should get out of here. See you later. Skitter's like trying to pick up a cat that doesn't want to be picked up, like skitters out of your arms and starts rushing towards. We haven't gotten to the ship, right?
No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
so he
He's
starts
around
rushing in
one.
that direction.
My apologies. I shall follow him.
Oksana, as a moment, if that, flashes as you look down towards Grimoire, who's now pulling away. You look back up towards Capri, who no longer seems to be there.
She'll run after Grimoire.
Okay. You make your exit as you begin to float down softly towards the ship of Jed. Tristan. After laying down the last coins on the soul, or on the bodies, your eyes begin to feel strange, almost as if you lose your vision for a moment. Like it's blurry, like a water has come across your eyes. You reach up, shaking your head and rubbing your eye for a moment. And as you stand to look around towards your friend, a strange mist has now entered into the cavern. Strangely enough, it's almost as if the mists have pulled the color out of the walls of your friends. Remain motionless. As your vision comes back to you in full, you see something standing just out of the corner of your eye. A figure? A shadow? Whatever it is, there's only one distinguishable feature to it all. A light emanating from what you would assume the eyes, glowing a vibrant emerald green.
I will turn towards the figure.
Turning
Look
towards
at-
the figure, as soon as your eyes come in straight view of the creature or figure standing, it does not seem to be there. You look around for a moment, stopping again, trying to listen, and again, out of the corner of your eye, a shadow, wearing a large robe, seemingly waving in the otherwise still cavern. A voice comes from your left side. You really believe that you can stare death head on, my acolyte? Death is
Probably not.
rarely one that you see coming.
Probably you're right. But some of us, in the last seconds, just catch a glimpse before darkness takes us.
Consider yourself lucky that you did not find me head on once again. You called for me once before, not long ago. What do you
I
wish
did.
of me?
I am just doing what I think was right for those people. But now that you brought me back, I'm not sure you brought me back to the right time. Many things have changed of what I remember. Was this your purpose?
The time that you returned to was exactly when you needed to be here. I've collected many of you throughout my time, Tristan. You are not special. You just had called to me, wanting, needing a family, a life lost. This is your debt to me. If you wish to see any of those things again,
How should I pay them? Or should I pay my debt in order to make it back?
you have already found exactly what I ask of. The coins that emanate from your hands. You, my friend, are one of the ferrymen of this place. One that I know too well. You are now in servitude as a reaper.
How many souls should I ferry?
You asked if this was the right time for you to be. Be used
did.
to the sight in front of you, Tristan. For this pales in comparison of what is to come. I need all of my reapers ready and waiting. For there'll be many souls to come in a short period of time that will need your assistance and guidance.
I will ferry as many as I can.
Do this in my name, and you will get what you wish.
So be it.
The blur begins to overcome your eyes once more as the fog seems to grow thicker all around you. Your vision goes entirely black for a moment before you find yourself blinking. Color now returned all around you, with the three companions, V, Basil, and Sicarius, standing in front of you, worried looks on their faces. Sicarius trying to wave his hand in front of you, Basil shaking you a little bit as you come back to this world.
Hi, friends. Sorry. I had to go for a bit.
Where did you go?
Same place, different. I guess just, I'm not sure. I was seeing the same thing. I was issued a warning. This is something that I will see in the future again.
You were issued a warning? By who?
A shadow.
So this warning you're going to zone out, or what exactly are you being warned about?
No, this is a vision that I should be getting accustomed to. And I will see it many times in the future.
May I ask why?
I don't know. I don't hold the key to the future.
No, sorry. Why must you become accustomed to it?
Because it seemed my path will come across such sights again. I don't hold the answers. I'm just telling you what I've been told. The understanding of it will
By
come
a
in
shadow.
time.
A shadow
By a
told
sh-
you this. You
I don't-
trust the shadow? Do shadows speak to you all the time?
No, not all the time. But I know how to listen and to be careful.
We will just
We'll see.
Look at Basil and be like, is he crazy?
Look, there's definitely a lot to unpack there. As someone who is familiar with the notion of talking shadows, yes, it is real, but one should always take care when heeding the words of those who do not make themselves known in places. It's very easy to become led astray if one is not discerning with what they listen to. Though, Tristan, I don't claim to know you very well, nor do I understand the circumstances that you're in. But if there is something calling to you from the darkness, and if I may be so bold, the situation you find yourself in, it may simply be the platform in which that darkness is trying to use you. Take care, my friend. I think that perhaps you have a lot more in you to give than the voice will have you believe.
Time will tell, I guess. Time will tell. I think we should go. I think we've seen everything we need to see here. Those people were left behind because there is nothing left.
Well, we have been here for quite some time and no one has come for us, so I suspect you are right in that.
And I have found no evidence of any kind of treasure or thing of value here. But
no point in hanging out here any longer than we have to.
No. But at the very least, we can at least confirm that these people, if we do find other gods like this, are in danger. It doesn't seem as though Ajax or has any intention of allowing these people to finish out their time enthralled here, it's much easier to clearly kill them than to take them to another location.
Which only suggests he has many, many more people under his command.
Yes, I am concerned about that. Well, shall we head back?
Sure,
Tristan
lead the
will
way.
lead.
You make your way back towards the exit. A sense of unease and silence amongst you all. As you leave, you slip out quietly. Making your way back down to the ship of Jed, you see the faces of Grimoire and Oksana again. Grimoire looking still terrified, and on Oksana's face, a look of intense fury.
Everything all right?
My friends, I'm glad to see you back. No, everything is not all right.
What happened?
On our way out of the cavern, we came across a creature who told us Ajax is responsible for this.
Right.
He said that we shouldn't pursue him either. I'm inclined to actually follow that advice. I'm sorry, my allergies are going crazy. I think there's something about this giant butthole over here or something.
Did he say why? Why we shouldn't?
I think the proof is in the metaphorical pudding.
All right.
He told us that they are seeking God's blood. He told us what it can be used for. Oh my gosh. Grimoire, do you remember?
Should we say that?
Porcus seemingly is chewing on something strange. It must be Oksana's idea.
He wasn't entirely certain, but he said that the idea or the rumor is that the god's blood can make you a god, or worse off, with more ingredients, bring back
The other way, yes. You can bring the god back to life, or with more ingredients, it can make you a god.
Right, and apparently, apparently the gods here are not good people.
They cause much suffering on other planes.
Right. All right. It's quite a problem.
Right. And to be clear, it wasn't a shadow that told you this, was it?
No, he was a weird, terrifying little gremlin man.
Oh, okay.
He was kind of cute. What was wrong with him?
I don't know. I just got a weird read from him. It's almost like every inside check I've rolled has been in that one, or nearly in that one at least.
Well, Tristan, did your shadow look like a tiny, cute gremlin?
I could only see it from the corner of my eyes.
That's
I'm not pretty
probably
sure.
why it remained a shadow. Why didn't you just look at it?
I tried. It moved. What? You
Sorry.
haven't seen anything move before?
This,
This is Raina laughing. I'm sorry.
because I think it's just imagining like as you're looking at moving, and then you're just running around in circles. And it's just this thing's like,
All right. Well, that's weird, but all right. That
Okay.
was a weird experience altogether, and frankly, quite sad. How
Yep.
do we all feel about heading back on course, or do we want to still? I wouldn't even know where to pursue Ajax right now.
Let's just
We-
get the fuck out of here.
We were
And
told
Grimoire
not
walks
to
away.
pursue him.
I'm sorry to keep doing that.
well, as we mentioned, he was supposed to be meeting Marcus in the Rock of Brawl, so he'd probably still be there.
Oh, right.
presumably. So I
Alright.
guess
We were told not to pursue him.
Why is it every time we hear his name, everybody says to stay away?
well, likely
Oh.
because he's responsible for killing a big bunch of people in the butthole of.
I'm sure it wasn't
God.
just him, but still, it just pisses me off that the people are just turning a blind eye to this tyrant. It just
We will come back for him when we are ready.
Right. Maybe Sicarius, it is not that people are turning a blind eye, but maybe they don't have enough power to do anything about it.
well, then they need to stick together. Damn it!
All right. Well, you're
It's
very upset
shit
about
like
this.
this that just goes on unchecked, and people need to, I don't know, people that just abuse their power. People needs to step up and take care of this. It's just so frustrating. I don't know.
Well, we will try our best.
It is unwise to fight before we are ready.
Yes, maybe we get you a bigger sword first.
Thank you for reminding me.
Mhm.
It's not the size of the sword; it's how Sicarius uses it.
Thank you. I'm so glad. I thought I was the only one laughing.
All right. Well, Jed, we're about ready to set sail.
Yeah, I gathered as much. Don't mind me, but I was overhearing some of the things that you were saying. I told you. Ajax is not one to trifle with. Not lightly. But I will say this. Glad y'all are back, safe and sound. Although some a little spooked more than others. He looks over at Grimoire, who is sitting kind of off to the side. Pork is kind of nuzzling up beside him, trying to cheer him up a little bit.
He's at the railing of the boat, just kind of dangling his foot and peg leg off the side, looking out into the sea.
Is Grimoire like actually shook? Like is like a by a
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
He's
I'll go sit beside him.
vibrating.
Oh, Basil will actually, as Oksana goes up, Basil will place a hand on Oksana and say, "May I have a minute with Grimoire?"
Sure, no problem. I will
And
wait
don't worry,
here.
I won't push him overboard this time. I promise.
Well, I know you won't. She'll thump him on the back.
That was the most mama bear thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
I will kill you, yes.
Yeah.
I'll go sit next to Grimoire and say, "Hey there, buddy. How you doing? You doing okay?"
All right. Sort of just like scratching the like rail, like focusing on a small area.
It's quite a thing to witness, to see so much pain and suffering.
Yeah.
You're a very, very kind soul, and I imagine that that even thinking about what they went through can't have been easy.
Guess I just wish I were a little stronger. Wish maybe we had gotten there sooner. Sometimes I guess I was just thinking about how they must have been thinking if only someone could come and, save them.
If we spend our lives wondering what if, we often miss that what we do with what we have is far greater as a motivator. While we may not have been able to help these people, it doesn't mean that there aren't others that we can stand up for. And that even if we weren't strong today, by surviving and helping each other, we can make ourselves stronger for the next time.
It's just too bad that there's always a next time.
It is. But you have nothing to be afraid of, because you have me, and the others as well. And we'll be here with you. And I would like to, Dave, I would like to feed on Grimoire, if that's okay.
What the fuck does that mean?
What the
fuck? Well, Dave understands what that means.
Grimoire, as Basil sits next to you, comforting you, you feel the fear starting to fade away. Almost as if it was never there in the first place.
I still don't fucking like that. All right. All right.
And I'll stand up and walk past Oksana and sort of like you can use your company, kind of like that, gesture.
She'll nod at you and then she'll go sit beside Grimoire. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, as you're walking towards him, he's watching Basil walk away with kind of like a cocked like head, like. Yeah, weirdly so, actually.
What do you mean? Why is it weird?
I've been scared before, and it tends to have fear. It tends to have a sort of lasting, I don't know, hold on me typically. I don't know. You want to look into the astral sea with me? He pats the sea, like the space next to him.
Are you saying that you feel less fear?
Yeah, like almost.
Well, my friend, maybe you are growing brave.
Maybe that's it. And he'll look at Basil again, and then look back to the sea.
Oksana, as you sit down beside Grimoire, Hork, who's been laying down beside him the entire time, kind of perks up as you come around, looking at Grimoire. Now, seeing that he's no longer shaking or anything along those lines, Hork will let out a small coo as he circles around, and seeing you have quite a large lap, will kind of flop down, belly flop almost directly in it, as he kind of moves around, as he tries to push your hand a little bit, trying to get a few pets from you.
She'll pet the creature. Grimoire, tell me about this creature. Is it yours? You're keeping it?
I don't know. Its name, I don't even know if it's can you check its... Anyway, I named it Pork.
Pork?
Yeah, Pork. After my favorite looking meat, because I don't like to taste it, but it always looks interesting. It's always glistening. And I don't know where I'm going with this. He apparently feeds off of ideas, which I don't fully understand. I tried feeding him an idea once, and it didn't seem to do anything. So,
Is it a hunter?
I don't know. I think I really I'm worried because I don't know how to care for it.
It seems fine to me.
Never
Can I like
really-
scratch its belly or something?
Oh yeah. Well, while you're having this conversation, it's already rolled over onto its back within your lap, stretching out and kind of wiggling back and forth, cooing ever so loudly as you reach down and rub its belly.
Yeah, I never would have thought of that. I'm like you're just a natural caregiver, you know.
Stop trying to
I
fucking pawn your.
I've never had to. I've never had to deal with, you know, having something to take care of outside of myself.
Well, it seems to like you, so perhaps you should keep it.
Well, it sure seems to like you too. But yeah, no, I think I like him. But he'll reach over and try to mimic the petting that Oksana was doing. Might have to teach me how to be a good mom, though.
You will do fine. It's very simple. What do you think of our friends here?
Who's them? And he'll look over to the group.
Yes, we have not had chance to speak of them.
Well, I suppose going down the list, Tristan is a hard cookie. He's hard to read, you know. I don't really know what he's thinking sometimes. He seems to mean well enough, though.
I am sad for him. He has a tragic story.
Does he?
Yes, didn't you say that you lost your family? Didn't you tell us that? You woke
Did
up
he
and
tell
you're,
everyone? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
He
think
told
so, yeah.
everyone. I was there. Okay, never mind. yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't really relate, but I, you know, I'm sure he has his reasons for being quiet. Everyone does, and like I said, I think he means well. Sicarius is I actually really like Sicarius a lot. I think we're kindred spirits, he and I think that of everybody, he seems to be the most morally aligned with myself, outside of you and you. Basil, I like Basil a lot. You know, I like his stories. I like the way he talks. I know when you don't like it, but I like it, and I think he kind of drifts off for a moment because he's like, looks back at Basil again with like a cocked head. I think we don't know everything. You know, we don't know these, and he goes back to, we don't know all these people that well, so this is all based off of, you know, whatever. As for V, gulps.
They seem
Yeah.
to care for us, so I care for them.
Yeah. V
You
reminds-
disagree?
Well, V, to be fair, V kind of reminds me of a very terrible person that I knew. Just not based on her actions, but kind of her mannerisms and her looks, I
What
guess.
person?
I you know, people like the people that see me on the street and
I know you
Oh,
don't always
fine.
like to share. This is okay. You will tell me when you are ready.
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you don't have to go down the list like I did if you don't want to, because I feel like that would eat up a lot of time, and I'm very selfish for having done it myself.
As I said, they seem to care for us. So I care for them. We will take care of each other.
Yeah, I mean, strength in numbers, right?
Yes. And seeing that he's kind of like calmed down, I guess like I don't know. I imagine that she'll like hum one of his favorite songs, and then we can kind of just chill.
Sure. All right, well, folks, I guess next stop, Brawl.
Party rock! Let's go, baby!
I'm ready.
Another day passes with very little excitement. Basil still remaining on the end of the ship, sketching away within his book. Oksana doing more and more push-ups, now with both Pork and Grimoire on her back. Pork
On
seems
hand.
to feel as it's more of a ride than anything else. And just as nothing is happening, you finally see something coming into view. Off in the distance, a giant landmass. And whether by the astral winds or the sheer intrigue throughout the passengers aboard the ship, the vessel seemingly picks up speed and draws closer. It takes but a brief moment for your minds to comprehend the sight that you behold. The beacon in the darkness. Haven of thieves and cutthroats everywhere. The Rock of Brawl. Stretching a mile wide and deep, the grand city spread out in front of you like a king's feast of experience to be had. In the lower city, the bolsterous bellows of a bustling tavern, the happy beholder, run by none other than the locally famed Large Luigi. It's said that he holds a mind like an encyclopedia and a loose tongue for whoever would be willing to challenge him. In the middle city, flanking the sides of the western and eastern borders, the Mage's Guild Hall and Elmander's Observatory of the Stars. One home to a guild of spellcasters known throughout the seas. The other home to a league of astral navigators that have mapped near every star in the sky, big or small. And finally, the only green found on the rock in the void. The noble quarters of those that can afford grand estates and plush greens. And crowned at the very peak of the floating landmass, the towering spires of the Star Haven Palace. Home of the ruler of Brawl, Prince Andrew and his court. Making a full circle around the ship, you begin to descend towards the lower city and in towards the docks. Fleets of ships, some even larger than Gary himself, line the perimeters. Many of the ships fly one or two flags. The first a sigil of 3 golden arrows pointing towards the sky. The other, 2 black sky serpents wrapped around each other on top of a blood-red background. Growing closer, you surf up to a small extended wooden dock. The familiar sounds of first mates bellowing out to crew members. The smell of oils that lube the gears and cranks of hoists and cranes, pulling vast cargoes from the ships. And the sight of men, women, and all in between. Some making their way towards the ships with looks of adventure and wonder. Others walking in the opposite direction, looking tired and sore from traveling vast distances across the voided seas. And while all seems rather alien to you, a reminder of the bustling home you long to return to is ever present. As the ship slows to a stop, a number of ropes swing to life and begin to bind themselves to the ship, pulling the ships towards the wooden dock. As you reach your final destination, Jed gathers you all on the deck once more. All right, y'all. Before we disembark, there's things that you need to know about this place. Number 1, trust no one with a crooked smile. Number 2, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Number 3, if you value your breath, best to stay in pairs at least at all times. It's a lot more difficult to make 2 people disappear, if you catch my meaning.
Oksana looks so confused, but she's not asking any questions.
Grimoire like just whispers, like looks up and then like whispers in her ear, just explaining.
She nods.
Jed, are you coming with us?
I mean, I could pick up some supplies while I'm here. Didn't know if you wanted me kicking around for the rest.
Your family, Jed.
You tend to know the place a lot more than we do.
And also your family.
I like both those answers. I'm in. Let's go. As he starts
All right.
walking towards the small ramp that leads down towards the dock.
So where do we go first?
Any idea? Like, I know that this is the place, but
If we're asking me, my experience, the best place to get information and have a little fun is always the tavern.
Well, the last tavern we went to, we were abducted. So, you know.
Just offering a bit of advice if we're up for an adventure, but I suppose Jed would know best.
Is that the crooked smile you said to watch out for, Jed? He points to me.
My smile is not crooked, Grimoire. It is perfectly straight. It is a nice smile.
You have a very nice smile. Like, what's the word? Traditionally pretty smile. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Grimoire.
I like yours better. He whispers to Oksana.
He'll like scruffle his head.
Jed
It is
kind of
nothing compared to yours.
Jed kind of leans over to Grimoire. Yeah, kind of like that, but I mean, I think she's all right.
Yeah, I do too. And he'll smile with literally a crooked smile. They're all shaky.
All right, with that said, you are all now at the Rock of Brawl. So,
Okay.
if you're looking for places to go, I will get you to turn your attention to Roll20 for a moment.
Shit, we got a map.
A map!
Go ahead
Oh,
and we'll pop
shoot.
over to this one
Holy
quickly.
Holy
Oh, I forgot to
shoot.
turn this one off. So, this is the Rock of Brawl. As you can see right now, you guys are the glowing red dot to the furthest western point of the city proper. There is the lower city, the middle city, and the high city. The high city being the greenest of the green areas. On each of them, you will see a few wordings, few names of various places that you would consider points of interest. So, if there's anywhere you would like to go, you can absolutely do so.
So, Jed, where would a tavern be? Just.
Well, I mean, not too
We can
far
get
from
our fix.
from here. You got the hell was it called again?
Is it the Happy Beholder?
Happy Beholder. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the most famous and probably the safest tavern all around these parts. So
I like safe.
How is the food?
Relative. It is relative. Oh, let me tell you, their spice scaver. Oh my God, there is nothing better in the Astral Seas than that. I mean, Jacques' cooking is good, but I mean, spicy scaver. Woo.
I'm in. Let's go.
Okay.
Is there a merchant or a market that we might be able to procure? I don't know, just off the top of my head, a big sword.
I
We
mean,
don't
there's
have any funds to be able to purchase. We need to do some jobs.
True.
I mean, I did
but
give you
we-
some money. Hopefully, you can get enough there for a sword or something along those lines for you.
We have some funds, and we should know how much a sword would cost in this kind of region. Otherwise, how would we be able to negotiate if we don't have a point of reference for the economy here?
That's right. What he said. Okay, so out of game, there is 2 markets that you can find on the Rock of Brawl. Number 1 being in the lower city districts, you would be able to probably find something there in the lesser market. It's a lot smaller and shabbier than the rest, but you'd probably be able to find some items considering its relative location to the docks. You'd probably find more trade bargains and things along those lines than homemade items per se. Aside from that, there is the Great Market, which can be found in the Middle City. It's a much larger market. The cost of things would most likely be a little bit more than they would at the lesser market, and more tradesfolk would be found there as opposed to traders of the Astral Seas.
Right. Well, let's say we pop our head into the lesser market, see what's what, and then maybe follow one of the main roads back to the Happy Beholder.
Agreed. Lovely
Sounds
planning,
good.
Basil.
I have no argument on my part.
Just so you all know, you have the ability to move your token around depending on where you go. I will leave this up for you guys in terms of where you want to go to. But I will not keep this on the screen for the entire time.
All right.
Okay.
To the lesser market. To the lesser market.
Right up our
Why
alley.
did you say that twice?
First time wasn't. First time was Reyna.
I'm just fucking with you.
Well, that's because there's an echo. An echo.
Three times like that.
As you begin to make your way past the docks, a number of individuals kind of eye you down. Seems to be a relatively common practice in places like this. V, you are very accustomed to having all eyes on you when docking in a new place.
She's
Same.
definitely winking at some of them.
Okay.
The most like aggressive looking one, she'll give a wink.
As you all begin to stare around at the marvels all around you, you suddenly feel Jed stop. As you look up in front of you, there seems to be a very large, plump individual. Very dark green skin, a long, sharp, pointed nose. His ears very pointed upward as well, with a number of earrings attached to it. He gives off a very crooked smile, teeth mostly yellowed, most of them missing, but those that do remain, a very sharp and rugged, almost like a serrated blade within his mouth.
Now, lovelies. What's the rush? You can't leave without a proper introduction to the fair city? I am somewhat of an ambassador of these places. You can call me Grek. What brings a lovely, fine, fair group like yourselves here?
Adventure.
Inside check.
On
All right.
me?
on him.
It's like, wow.
I have to break
Always
this
on me.
curse. Do you all understand I have not rolled over a 5 on an insight check since this campaign started?
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Oh no.
What?
Not a 1. So that's a total of 4.
Oh my god. Wow.
It sounds very reasonable.
As you stare up at this creature, he begins to eye you down properly. You feel a wave of fear starting to come over you once again, throwing your instincts completely off. He walks up to Grimoire.
Well. What do we have here? I
Nobody.
haven't seen one of you ever.
Oksana will get a little defensive.
Yes, I am 3 more, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that looks like me. Don't hurt me.
I will do nothing of the sorts, Grimoire. You are a guest in these places, these fine lands, with only the noblest of individuals to guide your way around here. And what is this I see?
You feel the warm body of Pork now pushing directly up against you as he hides behind both you and Oksana.
A waffle thump. A rare delicacy indeed. How much do you want for him?
Don't touch my hut. Don't touch Pork. Just sort of like pushes into Pork and like buries his face in him. Don't, he's not for sale.
Oh, come now. Everything has a price.
No,
Just
not this
name
one.
it.
Little help, guys.
He is a friend, or we're not sure. He, they, she, we're not sure. This Pork is a friend of us. He's not for sale. Also, would you mind just taking a little step back? Grimoire has allergies. They might be contagious.
Very terrible allergies.
He whips his head back over to you, and as he does, you see a string of spittle come out of his mouth, waving across.
God.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude, of course. But such a fine specimen. There's many things I could do with that.
Well, isn't that just a fantastic thought? But again, unfortunately, it's irrelevant because he's a friend of ours. Pork is a friend of ours. Pork is a friend of ours.
You call it a friend, and yet you have no idea what its name is?
No,
His name is
Pork.
I'm certain of the name. The name is Pork.
Ah, so you're uncertain if he is a friend, and yet you won't sell.
No, I'm certain that Pork is a friend. That is the end of the matter on that. It's very nice to meet you. Are we allowed to pass by?
But of course.
As he moves to the side and motions his hand forward.
Best to watch yourself on these streets, though. Never sure who could be watching.
I'm sure you have our back, right?
You could say that.
Okay.
Enjoy your stay, of course. And take good care of little Pork.
I am really curious to see how much that thing can go for.
Rob! What is wrong with you?
We need money.
Oh my god!
Come on, Rob needs a sword, guys. Come on.
Oh my god.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I almost swore that they were gonna ask like how much for Grimoire.
Oh my god.
Oh. Oksana would have took his fucking head off.
Oh yeah, that's just where I thought it was going. I was like, oh, we just want Pork. Well,
That was
Callie,
terrifying. Let's never do that
Yes,
again.
let's move on. Let's go to the lower market.
I have a feeling we're going to run into a lot of that here.
I think we need to stay close to each other. I know Jed was saying pairs, but at least for now, we should all stay near each other because.
Jed's with us.
What?
Hi, Jed.
Hey. Well, that
Yes,
guy
I
was an
know,
asshole,
Jess.
right? It's not just me.
He was, and he had a crooked smile. You were right.
He smelled really bad, too.
I mean, I don't smell great, but that was pretty gross.
That's what
It's
I
not-
imagine Bio would probably smell like.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that.
Not with spittle as well. Gross.
Right? You could practically drown in that.
It's gross thought, Jed.
Onward we go.
Onward we go.
Yes.
You continue to make your way towards the the lesser market. Passing by many small tenements and shabby homes, more akin to shacks, kind of compiled together with bits and pieces of scraps rather than well-architected structures. You finally happen upon the lesser market, knowing it full well to be a market, as you are all familiar with the sounds and almost liveliness of the market itself. Most of the structures, rickety stalls from small merchants kind of peddling their wares. most of the individuals that you see around you look like lesser fortunate individuals. You can see them peddling, wheeling, and dealing with some of the market vendors. Some for food, some for wares. You see a number of very odd, small stalls with items the like some of you have never seen before. What would you like to do?
Are we looking for anything in particular?
Is there anything that shows like actual swords or weapons?
Make an investigation check for me.
In the meantime, Oksana, that guy has me a little, like, weirded out. Would you mind carrying pork?
You want me to carry your pet?
I would. It's just I'm this.
I suppose I will carry your pet then.
I'll walk on my own. Don't worry.
I'll carry both of them.
With Grimoire on your shoulder, you now kind of cradle the small waffle thump.
He was kind of hoping that would be the case, and now he's kicking his legs out of glee. A leg and peg.
Yeah, the waffle thump looks up to you with big anime eyes as it coos as you hold it close to it.
Good pork. Good pork.
Sicarius, what'd you get on your investigation check?
A 0.
A 0.
Roll a 1 with a -1 modifier.
Well, you look around, you don't necessarily see someone specifically selling weapons. You do see a number of traders with trinkets and tools laid about. One in particular catches your eye. A very strange individual. Filled with fur, only stands about 4 feet tall. You see that he seemingly has something similar to wings, but more of almost a dress or a garment, as the wings seem to be attached to its wrist as it pulls back around to the back of the creature.
There's definitely some strange things here. I just kind of point that direction.
Okay.
Can I be keeping an eye out for any musical instruments of the sort?
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
And I'm going to walk a little bit closer just to see, obviously, if I can start seeing any wares that this particular creature has.
Okay.
Not necessarily engaging, but because Sicarius right now is kind of being reserved. He hasn't been in a big setting like this in a while, so.
Okay. As you make your way closer, you now see that the creature has a leather vest on, brown, very similar to that of what you would see from a blacksmith, as well as large goggles that wrap around his head, very similar to what Grimoire wears. You can hear him arguing with another individual. No, I didn't say I had a war hammer. That's not what I said. I said I had a hammer.
You know?
The individual kind of gives off a huff before walking away. Looking around the stall, you do now see in the back, there is a number of bladed weapons behind it.
I will approach and just kind of start peering in, just not really engaging them, but just, how you would get to a counter and just kind of start nosing around.
Okay. Immediately catching the attention, even though you're trying to be as sly as possible, it hops up onto the counter as he kind of perches up, putting his knees upward, kind of resting his fists on the counter proper. Oh, and who might you be?
Oh, sorry you just scared me. My name is Sicarius.
Well, Sicarius, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Mahoho.
I love it.
Yes, I'm the seller of wares. Are you looking for wares?
Your swords in the back have caught my attention.
Ah, you're looking
As
for
I-
blade, I see. You want many blade or just one blade?
Just the one.
Hmm.
The biggest one you got.
Ah, he likes them big, he says. I see, I see. I do have some of the finest blades in all of the marketplace. I'd be happy to show you.
Please.
Hmm. He turns around and for a moment collects 3 different blades as he kind of wraps them up in the oh, what the hell is the thing called? I just said it. He wraps them up in his arms and drops them down one by one in front of you. You see a number of beautiful blades in front of you, very well crafted. The first being what looks to be a almost a black blade that gives off no shimmer whatsoever, almost like a gunmetal black. This was mined from some of the finest asteroids. Some say that its properties can be very metallic, or how you say, magnetic.
Magnetic.
Yes, that's what they say. That's what I said. Did you not hear me?
I'm just making sure I heard correctly. I
Well, good, because
apologize.
you can hear then, my friend.
All right. May I
Uh,
pick it up?
by all means, you can wave it around. Just don't try to kill no one.
Not today.
That's not foreboding.
What kind of sword is it?
This sword in particular, from what you can see, they are all just basically mundane weapons. There doesn't seem to be any real glimmer of magic for each of them. This one is in fact a great sword.
Okay, I was saying, is it a long sword, great sword, or something like that?
Yeah, so this
Oh,
is a
that's-
great sword.
So as I hold it, how much you want for it?
Oh, this one would go for a low price of, I would say, probably about, 10 gold. But we can always negotiate, I'm sure.
10 gold, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's the finest one you will find of that kind. Probably one of a kind.
He holds it up, makes it a little wobbly. It's not very balanced. How about you do 6?
6. This was crafted from one of the greatest crafters of all time. You want 6? About 8.
He looks it over.
It is very straight. Perhaps your arms are the ones that are crooked.
Well, I do have a -0, so you know. I
Well-
think we can make a deal. You've convinced me. I'll do 8 gold.
But that was easy. I mean, are you sure you don't want to look at any of the weapons?
No, this one is. I'm pretty simple. This one will suit my needs very well. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad I could be of service to you. 8 gold, please. As he holds his
Alright.
hand out.
I will take out and hand over 8 gold.
He immediately snatches it back and begins to look through it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's
5,
there.
6. I'm counting. You relax, okay? This is part of the business. You're clearly not a businessman yourself, okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, you have 8 here. Very good.
You satisfied now?
I'm very satisfied. Do you want it gift wrapped?
No, that'll be just fine.
No? Okay, fine. That's fine then.
Fine.
I'd pleasure of
appreciate
doing
it.
business with me.
I don't.
Jaded.
Yeah. Well, muhahaha, whatever.
That's
It's just a
muhaha.
pleasure. Alrighty. Have a great day. Thank you.
Are you sure there's nothing else you need?
That's enough for me.
Are you sure I have pictons?
You have what?
Pictons.
I don't know what that is.
It's a little ball of sharp thing that you throw on the ground when you want people to step on things.
What would I need that for?
I don't know. Why do you look at me like that?
Because you're being weird.
And you're being weird. Don't even want a gift wrapped sword.
I come here to buy a sword and you're just getting all crazy on me.
Ah, forget about these things.
Fine. Till next time.
Till next time. Pleasure.
Alright.
I can't tell if they
Awesome.
love each other or hate each other. Awesome.
All right. V, what did you get on your
16.
investigation check?
16.
16. Looking around you, you do see one stall that there isn't a lot of musical instruments per se. It's more a variety of trinkets that are displayed out in the front, but you do look towards the back and see some type of stringed apparatus.
He will saunter over as she does.
The
and
individual
take a better
at the counter you see is a strange sight to behold. It is humanoid to a certain extent, but almost as if it's made of goo or a jelly of kinds. You can see there is a relative translucent skin over top of it that seems to hold all of the goo in one place. You can see little specks of what almost look like amoebas that seem to float around inside of this vat of a humanoid. As you grow closer, you see a few of the amoebas kind of switch towards the very front where the eyes would be.
Lucy? Just kidding. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Too good.
You take
Okay.
82 points of I hate you damage. Jesus.
Okay.
The individual kind of looks at you, tilting a head.
Hello. I don't quite understand you, but my name is V. I don't know if you can understand me. I'm looking to purchase or maybe have a look at some of your instruments here. I'm more curious as to what is the average instrument for this area. I want to immerse myself in the culture here.
The individual kind of tilts its head once again towards you. Well, of course I understand common. That's what I do. You have to understand many languages.
Fantastic. I am so grateful that you understand that. So can you help me?
Well, what type of instrument are you looking for?
So V, is everything sort of laid out in front of her right now?
You can see a few things in the back. Are you looking for wind, a string?
I am looking for something, maybe wind.
My people up there?
As he reaches back, he pulls forward what looks like a beautiful flute. The flute itself, although it's relatively straight, there seems to be almost a pipe or like a fin that connects the two pieces, albeit the pieces perfectly aligned with one another. You can also see that on either side there seems to be holes like you would see in a typical flute, and the mouthpiece rests directly in the center of the fin.
That's very nice. How much for this flute?
The octave flute runs roughly about 25 gold pieces.
What if, hear me out, would you be willing for a trade?
Depends on what kind of trade we're talking about.
More of a bet. What if I play this flute so amazingly? The best flute playing you've ever heard. Would you give it to me for 5 gold?
No. 25 gold. If you can play a tune, I will give it to you for 20.
That is unfortunate. I don't have 20 gold, so that is that.
He
I
reaches
suppose.
out and snatches it from your hand. Yes, it is. As he puts it back behind the counter.
Yeah, I thought he said you take some 20 gold.
That's what I thought. I was like, I don't have it. Yeah, okay. All right. Is there any instrument here for less money?
He reaches behind the counter, and you see him pull out a triangular metallic apparatus with a tiny little rod that goes along with it.
Mm.
Aw. Ding.
The player wants to buy that just to annoy the shit out of you. Oh, how much for that? I'm familiar with that instrument. It's quite primal, but yes.
Yes. Oh, the triangle. That is 3 gold pieces. Oh.
Mm. You know what? Why not? How about if I play the best triangle song you've ever heard in your life?
No.
Come on, there has to be some negotiating ability here. How about
Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
16 plus 5, 21.
He considers it for a moment. If you can play a song on this alone, then we can go ahead and make a trade.
All right. May I hold it?
He hands it to you.
Okay. V will
Run away.
yeah. Just kidding. V will play one of the songs, I guess, that she knows from her music box. She'll sort of transpose it, I guess that's the idea, onto the triangle. But while as she's doing that, she'll also cast dancing lights to be moving around her, and she will also sort of find a way to move slowly in a circle, sort of like creating a dance out of it at the same time.
Okay. So how does that song go?
What the fuck, man? What?
Hey, you wanted to do this. You tell me what the song sounds like.
Triangle song. What are you talking about?
Let's hear it.
Ding, ding.
What the fuck?
Ding, 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 ding.
That sounds
Bobby,
great.
stop helping her.
I'm sorry.
Bobby's great. He's got it.
sorry.
That's what it sounds
No,
like.
no. I want to hear your song.
You gotta do it yourself. And now you can't use that one.
And yeah, you can't use that one.
Okay. It will sound bing ding 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 bidding 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 bing ding ding bidding 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 bidding.
Go ahead and roll performance with advantage.
Oh wow. That is a 23.
A 23.
Not equal to what I just did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As the lights begin to float around the entire marketplace, V begins to dance in place as she begins to play her mighty song. The crowd now starts to part ways as they are all watching her intently. People are clapping and begin to dance along. As they do, more and more keep dancing and start enjoying themselves. Many break out to start singing, trying to be in time with the ringing of the triangle. As Jed yells out, "This is the party rock I was talking about, baby!" This is the first rave we've ever had on Rock of Brawl. The rest of you watch in kind of mister and splendor at the same time as V continues to perform to all the people around as a lovely experience in comparison to where you just were. And that, my friends, is where we're going to end for the evening, with a little bit of a jamboree.
I need to
I
buy a
think
triangle.
Just moments
God.
ago, we were burying
Yeah.
so many bodies.
Yeah.
This is a crazy episode, y'all.
This was
You went
roller
into a
coaster.
god's
coaster.
anus. You went into a god's anus, then buried a bunch of bodies, and now you're Elvie's twerking to the triangle as we speak. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. I need a triangle in real life.
Nope.
That's what. Yep.
Nope.
Sorry.
Nope.
You didn't let me buy the flute, so.
I did. You just couldn't afford it, broke ass.
Not my fault.
Well,
So you heard it here,
stay
folks. Careful,
tuned,
Cantrip
ladies and
Platinum.
gentlemen, to find out if V, in fact, buys a triangle, and as well has a house to live in after that. We'll find all this and more on next week's episode of Careful Cantrip.
Are we gonna talk about it? Are we gonna figure out the cooking thing or no?
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that on break, weren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just remembered now.
Yeah,
So
no.
I thought I'd bring it up.
No, we're a little past time today, but
Yeah, fuck that.
we'll work it out. Maybe we'll work on that tomorrow on Talk Artive, which you should all come and hang out and watch because it's a super fun time with art and
Yes.
funny things to put in your butts, as Bobby likes to say. Also, hey, if you made it this far on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Maybe put a comment and subscribe and tell us what you think was the worst thing that happened in this entire episode. I'd love to know more.
Yeah. Put a butt pun in there too. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got any fart jokes, throw them in. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
I think we used them all a bit too soon together. We should have spread them out.
Yeah.
That's very cheeky of you. With that said, we are going to wrap up for the evening, folks. Bobby, buy me some time.
Guys, wow, what an episode. Gods, anuses, triangles, amazing. Let me tell you about Careful Cantrip Platinum.
Oh my God.
It is well on the way and in the works. You can expect both stuff and things. And for the low price of X amount and a blood contract, you can be a member of Careful Cantrip Platinum. Boy, I wonder if I spared Dave enough time yet.
You totally did. Thank you
There
so
it is.
much, my friend. We are all good. We are going to raid into our friends. Let's go see the guys at D20 Deathmatch because we had a great time. Dag and I had a great time over on their show. If you missed it, you can catch it on their YouTube channel coming up at some point in time. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the group chat to find out when things happen. But hey, it was a phenomenal time. And yeah, if you haven't already, give them a follow, show them a little love. It's it's what we do around here. We just share the love, spread it out, just soak everybody, and bathe them in our love. Of course, hashtag CC Love Raids when we get over there, because we don't do any of them hate raids around here. Only all of the loves to all of the lovely folks. But with that said, I only have one thing to say left. To all the adventurers out there, whether you find a mass grave of bodies potentially caused by a future adversary, or finding yourself climbing into the anus of a divine being, I beg of you all, one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip. Guys, we will see y'all in the next one. Absolutely adore all of your faces. And we will see you real soon.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Later, goobers.